Today is day 78, and today I just had a pretty chilled day. I was taking it easy. I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be on conference call for 2 hours, 2.5 hours actually, and so I ended up sleeping until about 10 o'clock and just took time to kind of chill and be relaxed and just kind of do things that nourish me and allow me to just take time out. So I've spoken before about how I am constantly needing to work and constantly needing to make myself busy because I feel like I have so much that's kind of calling at me that I need to do, and so it is hard for me to relax and just let go. So I was able today to just kind of lie in the hammock and start reading a novel, which I don't normally read novels because I get so sucked into them. It's really hard for me to stop reading them. So I just lay in the hammock and read a novel, and that felt really good. And then there was something that I really needed to do. It was basically a letter I really needed to write to somebody. So it was an important letter that I needed to write to a particular person. And it felt really good to write it because it's been in the back of my mind for quite a while now. And it just felt really good to write it, to complete it, and to get it out there. And with women, often we can, we can kind of procrastinate and let things build up. So we can create drama in our lives by not facing things and kind of, say letting bills build up. So not paying bills, not looking at our bank accounts and letting our finances get out of hand, not confronting little things that might be gnawing at our subconscious. So like, little things that may need cleaning, phone calls or text messages or just things like that can build up in our lives. And when we don't do them, they kind of pile up and can create this drama and a bit of overwhelm. So when we do face those things, when we do them, it creates space in our lives, and that space is really important because it allows us to breathe, it allows us to be more happy, it allows us to be more creative, it allows us to be more present in our lives. So just simple things like answering an email or answering a text message or calling somebody back or paying a bill or going and looking at your bank account, little things like that do need to be done, but we can let them pile up, can be really, really helpful to create space in our life. So I wrote this email and it's completed now, it's ready to be sent out, and there is space now where that thing was, and that just creates more lightness in my body, and I can actually feel it in my body. I can feel that space in my body. That thing has kind of been dealt with now, and so it's no longer gnawing on my subconscious. And it reminds me of something that my mentor said. She said, don't open emails, don't open text messages, and don't open Messenger, Facebook messages, or any message for that matter, if you can't reply to it then and there. And I have not mastered that yet, but it's a really, really great thing to remember, because what I do is I will be driving along and I'll check a text message. I was on a long journey recently and I checked messages. And then what happens later on is I forget I've checked them because I can't get back to them. I forget I've checked them, and then there's this kind of backlog of people I need to get hold of, I need to get back to, I need to remember, and it's hard to remember because I don't write it down, and that kind of creates this drama and this load in my subconscious. However, if I applied the rule of don't open those messages if you don't have the time to read them, or if you don't have the time to respond to them, then that creates a different thing, because you're opening only messages that you can respond to. Because in this day and age of technology and email and text messaging and all of that, everybody kind of has this thing where they've got to reply straight away, but you actually don't. You can allow things to sit there when you're ready to deal with them, and then deal with them fully instead of just dealing them with halfway. So, reading them and then not responding to them and then going, oh, I've got all these messages I have to respond to. So It's really great to create space by kind of emptying out and addressing and confronting the things that we need to, and responding to emails, responding to messages, and clearing out those little things that are kind of gnawing at our subconscious, so that we have more space to be in our relaxed creative self. It also works in your home. So if you have a really cluttered home, that clutter is clutter. It's energetically clutter, it's clutter in your body, it's clutter in your mind, it's clutter in your space. And when you clean that clutter out, you allow more space in your life, and you also allow more good to come into your life. So if your house is all cluttered up and there's not really much room to move, and you're collecting a whole lot of things that you really don't need, then you're not allowing space. So when we hoard stuff, that is stopping us from allowing new life and new energy to come into our homes. It's actually clinging on to the past, clinging on to things that are no longer serving us, that we don't need, and they're creating a weight in our house, in our body and in mind, our spirituality, energetically. There's this weight. So when we clean out our homes, when we clean out our space, we create space, and it feels really, really good. So if you find that you're, cluttering up your space and there's a whole lot of things in your home that you don't really need, kids' toys or old furniture or old clothes or pots and pans and things like that that you don't really need, it's a really, really great practice to go through your house, every couple months and go, okay, what don't I need? What can I give away? Because there's a lot of people in this world who are poor. They don't have much, and they could actually really do with some of the things that you got in your home. So if you don't really need them and you can find another home for them, it's wonderful, and it will create more space and more room in your house for more happiness, more creativity, and more clarity. I highly recommend it. That's why moving can be such a great thing, because when we move, we really clear everything out, because we really tend to just get rid of the stuff that we don't need anymore, because we don't really want to deal with it, because moving can be traumatic. So think about how you can clear out your space, how you can kind of confront things that you need to confront, like emails and text messages and phone calls and bank accounts and bills and that kind of stuff. And how can you confront them to clear them away and create more space in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, in your home, and just overall energetically in your life. How can you create more space so that more goodness can come into your life, more vitality, more health, more ease, more happiness? It's a really good practice. That is day 78.